I was reminded watching another podcast earlier this week, or maybe it was over the weekend, about the distributed social media platform that is the Fediverse.
Okay.
Like the federated universe of social media. And I became familiar with this back in, I don't know, probably October, when Twitter started banning accounts right before the election.
Mm-hmm.
And some people that I knew who were very active and participating in trying to bring like a, not really a third party, but just like kind of like a new kind of ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like a disruptor thing. They got banned. And so we were looking for alternate forms of social media. So I was reminded by none other than Adam Curry. Yes, the Adam Curry with the hair from MTV. The early days. Who is he doesn't look the same anymore.
No.
He's a touch older than us. And but he's a really smart guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you know, it's like somebody you look up to when you're a kid, and then you like see them.
Yeah.
Like 30 years, like you forget about him, and then you see him, you're like,
oh,
whoa.
yeah, that guy.
Like Eddie Van Halen.
Yeah.
Totally changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, between, you know, what I remembered him being on MTV and then, you know, the last 10 years of his life.
Sure.
But Adam Curry's another one of those guys, but he's totally on top of it, and he's the Podfather, right?
Literally,
he's the reason
Podfather.
why we're here.
Yeah. And ringtones.
Yes. I mean,
who knew?
And he's got this great podcast index called podcastindex.org.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, if you don't want to listen on Apple or pay Spotify, go to podcastindex.org. He pulls in all of the RSS feeds to this place and distributes, and you can listen to the podcast right there. He also has a podcast of his own called No Agenda.
Okay.
And he has a distributed social media server. And so I had kind of set one up playing around. I was like, if I'm going to do this, I have to do it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And by right way, that's nerd talk for make it scalable. You know, a lot of things, just like installation instructions, and it's how to get something up as fast as possible with like one server. Like it's the cheap, fast solution.
The minimal.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's great for a proof of concept, but once the proof of concept has been met and you want to go live with it, you need to say, okay, there's 5 pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Which of these can I make distributed, right? So let's take the database off of this machine. Let's use an actual production database. Let's use an actual production cache server.
Mm-hmm.
Let's use a load balancer in case we need to scale up the number of nodes behind it to take on new traffic. So that's what I did this weekend is I set up a Fediverse server. Now, Fediverse is built upon a open protocol called ActivityPub, and it's basically how all of these social media nodes communicate to one another.
Okay.
Because they're all different. And then on top of that protocol, there's several different implementations of a user interface for that protocol.
Okay.
There's Mastodon, there's Pleroma, and Hubzilla are the 3 that I can think of off the top of my head. And there's actually quite a few more.
Okay.
I think the most mature and good user interface is Mastodon. So that's the one that I stood up. And if anybody listening wants a Fediverse account, you can create one for free. You can go to shadowsocial.org, and that is the node, right? And it's aptly named because those of us that are there, we were shadow banned by Twitter.
Yep.
We have to operate in the shadows so that we don't get banned further or permanently banned. And so all that being said, when did you start? Do you have a question?
No, I had a huge smart Alec disclaimer. We were not in DC on January 6th. Like that's not what not what any of this shadow stuff is about. No. Yeah, this is just all social media stuff.
Shadow is a very innocent word.
Yes.
Think of an eclipse.
Yeah. Okay.
A moon shadow.
Yeah.
The shadow when you're out wearing cancer-causing sunscreen that just got recalled. Right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I just realized if you don't know what we're talking about, it could sound bad. My
favorite shadow reference is the movie Grandma's Boy.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I've heard it's great. Yet another reason we might not be able to keep being friends. Like I got to catch up on this.
Actually, this is a very juvenile movie, and I haven't seen it in a long time. I don't know how funny it would be.
My son
But anyway,
encouraged me to watch
there's
it.
there's like this really freakish kind of like software game coder.
Okay.
And he's very like reclusive and introverted. And like the guy says hi to him and he like goes up against the wall. And he's
okay.
like he thinks he's in a shadow.
Okay.
And the other guy's like, I can see you. And the guy
Gotcha.
talks to himself. He goes, how can he see me? All right. So
Okay.
spoiler alert.
All right.
But that's not the whole movie.
Shadow Social.
Yes. Okay. So you create your account. And then as people on that node start to talk about things and follow people on other nodes, the federated feed kind of kicks into gear. And you start to then it becomes more like Twitter, where you're seeing a lot of information from a lot of different people. But the main thing is it's not censored. It's it can be moderated by a node's individual user. You can moderate your own feed. You can say, hey, I don't want to see anything from that idiot ever again.
Okay.
You can block DM, all this stuff.
All that stuff.